So awkward.
You get home from a long day at school and you're exhausted from the hard work that you've put in. You haven't had a moment to yourself all day, so the first thing you do is go to your room and plop down on your bed, just so you can have a moment to rest. But then, before you know it, you find yourself scrolling on your phone, wasting away hours on end. I know this story is so familiar for a lot of us, because we have all experienced the negative consequences of boredom mixed with fatigue. And we have all at one point or another resorted to our phones to solve this problem. But what if there was a better way to solve it? Well, there is, and that is simply to get a hobby. Boredom presents a huge threat to society. It can kill purpose and it can kill dreams. We live in a culture that is so focused on instant gratification, so we no longer have to wait for anything. We get mad when we don't get what we want, and we don't get it now. We get frustrated when our phone Wi-Fi cuts out for 30 seconds because all we wanted to do was quick Google the definition of extemporaneous speaking. And we've trained ourselves to do this. So when we feel bored, we do the exact same thing. TechJury.com says that on average, Americans spend about 4 hours a day on their phone. And to put this into perspective, Rand.org says that Americans only have about 5 hours of free time a day. This means we waste away most of that time by scrolling mindlessly, and this presents a consequence. When we've done nothing productive with our free time, we often begin to feel like we're not really going anywhere, and this can have a lot of negative feelings that come up. And because we've trained ourselves time and time again to do so, the very thing we do is go back to our phone, and the cycle goes on and on and on, and we wonder why we're stuck in a rut. This presents a need. We need to find things that we're passionate about. We need to find things that we love and that we're good at. We need to start challenging our minds and our bodies and overall our capabilities, because this is how growth and progress is made. We need hobbies. Hobbies can come with so many different benefits. The first is that it gives a direction and a purpose to your free time. Instead of using it unproductively, mindlessly scrolling on your phone, it gives you a goal to work towards. Fortune.com says that hobbies can help create new pathways in the brain. And these new pathways lead to higher self-esteem and help us get out of the ruts that we find ourselves in. This leads to happiness. Hobbies can provide joy in our life. It can be such an enjoyable thing to learn a new skill, and it can give us an even greater sense of accomplishment when we perfect that skill. Frank Tiger once said, "To be really happy, you have to enjoy what you do." Hobbies can also make us a better individual. An article published by Harvard Health analyzed a study done on over 93,000 people. This study, through its observations, found that somehow a better mental health was correlated to having a hobby. And I've seen this play out in my own life as well. Before I started playing guitar seriously, I would spend hours on my phone, and I wouldn't really get anywhere in life. I wouldn't have much to show for the free time that I had. But after I started putting more time and effort into this hobby of mine, it began to teach me so much more than just what a hobby is. It began to teach me how to be a better individual. It taught me things like discipline. Practicing every single day was so much more than getting better at playing an instrument. It was about creating a habit that would better myself as an individual. It also taught me patience. It taught me that when I mess up, I can't just give up on my hopes and dreams right away. I have to have grace with myself and keep pushing, waiting for the day that I would be the guitar player I always wanted to be. It also has brought a lot of joy into my life, as I have gotten to share the skill that I have learned with so many people, whether it's around the campfire, singing songs in worship, or teaching other kids how to play guitar. I have seen the consequences of how we can poop. I've seen the consequences of boredom in my own life, and I have seen how detrimental my response to it can be. I've also seen, however, the many benefits that habits can produce in our life. and I've seen how it can give me a better direction and purpose in my free time. I've seen how it can bring a lot of joy and happiness into my life. And I've seen how it can make me a better individual and more well-rounded. I want you guys to think about this one thing for a second. How much would it impact our society if each of us spent that 5 hours a day chasing after the things that we are passionate about and the things that we love, instead of mindlessly scrolling on our phones? How much of an impact would this have on our own lives as well, and the life of our society that we live in? So, with all this in mind, I want you guys to go out and find the things that you're good at. Maybe it's talents you didn't even know that you had, things you didn't know you were good at. Find things that give you a sense of direction and purpose and happiness in life. Find your passions. What are your goals? What are your dreams? And lastly, what will your new hobby be?